Okay, and we should be live. Hello, everybody out there. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Wednesday Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide race. My name is Gar, and today I am joined on commentary by Goku Black 9974. Goku, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. We got some good racers here, and I'm very intrigued by what routes they're going to take with the entire flag set that has been specifically created for this race. Tell us about the flags.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So this set of flags is a little different than our normal set. This time, we're doing what's called Item Rush, and we're doing it specifically with a competitive flag set. So, what does that mean? Well, first of all, it means that you start with Terra and Realm in addition to two other random starting characters. Normally, you would start with 8 high tier items in the competitive set. You start with 5. You get an additional high tier item every dragon you kill. And high tier items in this case are things like experience eggs, maybe an Illumina. It could be anything along those lines. Every time you kill a dragon, however, each other dragon gets 30 additional levels added to it, with a maximum of 60. And your EXP that you get, normally it's 2.5 times. It's reduced to 2 times now. So you're going to have to work a little bit harder if they want to get those levels.
Yes, and I'm excited for this race. How about you, Gar?
Oh yeah, like I have seen so many Ultras League races. It's great to have something different now. So I'm looking forward to it as well. They start with let's see, it looks like a ribbon, some breakable rods. The breakable rods are amazing. Dried meat, which is great for getting Gal's check right off the bat. 2 experience eggs, a Dragoon set, so that winds up being the Dragoon boots, the Dragon horn, which allows you to jump more than once per turn, and a high tier spear, which is either the Partisan, the Pearl Lance, or the Aura Lance, in addition to 10 Warp Stones and 10 Phoenix Downs. So what that means is that once this race starts, they're going to be running right out of the gate, ready to go.
Yes, and it's going to be an interesting one. I haven't been doing commentary too long, watching races and all that, so I'm interested to see what the runners are going to do once we actually get started here.
Yeah, remains to be seen
And it
what
looks like we're
they
starting.
do. And but yep, there they go. I see an Illumina right off the rip. Illumina being maybe the best item in the game, in my opinion.
Ooh. Getting a ribbon as well. Ribbon's fantastic.
So Goku, where do you think our racers should go first? They have a lot of checks available.
Specifically, you might actually want to do some free checks first, just to get that off your plate. Like here, Shadow, I completely agree. Maybe check the shop a little bit.
Yeah, looks like nobody did just that.
Yeah. If it wasn't empty, then yeah, you would want to check the shop. But free check, definitely not bad. Yeah, shops being empty kind of makes things a little difficult, but that's probably why they put the free items on.
Oh yeah. So with the shops being empty, there's a much higher emphasis on them collecting items from treasure chests. In addition to what they naturally start with, which it looks like we see an Illumina, we see a Ragnarok sword, which is also a phenomenal weapon. Fixed dice, cat hood, which lets you get all the gold that could possibly drop from any particular battle. Yeah, just again, rocket start.
Yeah, exactly, and I wouldn't. Yeah, I totally agree with Nobody Wars check here with the whole World of Ruin Narsh. I'm first gonna see how many battles the Curse Shield is. Let's
That's
see.
not a bad play either, right at the start.
Ooh,
Ooh.
14. That's a good amount.
Yeah, 14 is pretty rough. Normally, you like to see maybe about half that. If you have a ribbon, it might change your math a little bit, since the Curse Shield gives you all kinds of nasty negative status effects. But once you break the Curse Shield, it becomes the Paladin Shield. Paladin Shield absorbs or negates every element in the game, in addition to providing a whole bunch of defense. So,
Yeah.
you just don't know, right?
Yeah, and I do like Flurry's play here, going with all the base stuff and also the sealed cave probably.
I
Not a
would
bad
have to
play.
imagine, yeah, that Flurry is going to go right into the sealed cave after plundering the Imperial base.
Ooh, a
And again,
Minerva.
Minerva, yeah. Great item there, too. Nullifies fire, ice, and lightning damage.
Yeah, definitely a very, very good piece of equipment. It nullifies a lot, and I mean a lot of elements in this game. So definitely good to see early on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess while our runners are going around getting some cool stuff, we'll take a moment and introduce them. Top right, we have Nobody War. Bottom right is LQ Flory 14. Top left is Turdsman. Bottom left is Devious RNG. All four of our runners, phenomenal players. Great to talk with them, and they should put on a great show for you.
Yeah, and Turdsman, I know as my first co-commentator, so definitely excited to see him running tonight.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I figured Flurry would go into Shield Cave after seeing he's going over there. Skips the save room, which I can see.
Yeah, that's normally a room that I skip as well. It's got one chest in there, and since
And-
you've got the Moogle charms, you don't need to save.
Yeah, I can see it. I can all yeah. Now we got Nobody War and Turdsman both in South Figaro, doing the looting there.
Yep.
Yeah, and let's see.
It was the Crusader Esper, by the way. That was from the man in the weapon shop in World of Ruin Narsh.
Thank you. I didn't see it when when Nobody War went and did it. I was like, well, what was it again? I was talking about
I totally missed it too. No worries. LQ Flurry at the end of the sealed cave.
Let's see. It could be an Esper. Ooh, Tree Talk.
Tritalk Esper is pretty amazing. We have a question in chat. How is this game randomized? And to answer that question it's kind of big, mostly because there are any number of ways to randomize this game. From the level of, or from the number of characters that you start with, to where you might find them in the world, the espers that you find, the items that are in chests, anything that you think of that might be randomized is probably randomized. Tons and tons of customization available for Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, and that's why I personally love it so much.
Oh yeah, definitely something that comes with practice as well. These runners specifically spent lots of time practicing, so don't think this actually comes in one day.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of in-game knowledge that you need in order to be at the level that these players are.
Interesting enough. Nobody War actually took their Moogle charm off and is actually fighting random encounters in this place.
Okay. Is he? Where is he at? Is he in Narsh Roll of Ruin?
South Figaro, in the
in the basement. Okay.
in the basement. Took like a fight.
Yeah, that seems fine. I'm assuming that he wanted some levels before he goes and starts knocking out some checks.
That's what I was thinking too. Ooh, Ice 3. Not bad.
Turdsman in Owlzer's Mansion in World of Ruin Jador.
Yeah.
That's one of Realm's checks. So a couple of fixed battles here. A good way to get some experience. and then the boss at the end, we'll see what it is. Meanwhile, Devious RNG in World of Balance, Narsh, in the mines, we find Kefka.
Yes. Question in chat. The goal is to find 9 espers and 6 characters. Yes.
That is correct.
That is the goal.
In addition, we will also want to fight and defeat 3 dragons, which those dragon levels that I mentioned earlier, that's where that is going to come into play.
Yeah, I see our runners are at some point are have to do that, but I don't see them doing it anytime soon.
Yeah, I imagine that they want to get some levels before they start running into them, but anything can happen. We'll see. There are definitely some amazing strats that you can do in regards to dragons.
Fenrir has Flare, and Crusader has Ice 3. That's not too bad.
So some pretty strong in-game magics there for our espers, which is what you really want to see, especially in seeds like this.
Yeah, definitely. I played a seed earlier in of Worlds Collide, and it was a chaos seed. That was fun. I don't not very successfully, I'm afraid, but
Nobody War headed into the Phoenix Cave. That's kind of an interesting choice, in my opinion. It's kind of a long check. There is a dragon in there, so I'm not 100% sure if Nobody War is actually going to take that dragon or pass it up for something else. But it is an option.
But Nobody War probably picked that for like a free check, I can imagine. Because as long as you have a Muga Charm on, you don't have to take any fights.
A question in chat: how long is an average game? And to answer that question, it kind of depends on the seed, what a player's experience level is, but it can be anywhere from, like, the best players are able to do our Ultros League flag set in under an hour and a half. If you're newer, or if your flags are set up in a certain way, you could take upwards of 3 hours. So a ton of variance there.
Yeah, me specifically, it takes me because I'm not very experienced, it takes me, like, depending on the seed, from somewhere 2 hours to 3 hours. Depending on the
finding Dullahan.
Oh, yeah.
And Devious RNG looks like he's coming back from the Esper Cave. I did not see what he found there, so...
neither did I. Chat, can you help?
Yeah, I'm personally going to need a lot of audience participation here. That's what makes this amazing.
Yeah, especially. Dullahan going down, though.
Yep.
Oh, was it Esper? Okay. What's an Esper? Okay, yeah. So what are we gonna get here?
Ooh.
Surf him.
I gotta say, that was a hideously colored imp. I like it, but I hate it at the same time.
Actually, like, is Nobody War actually gonna take that dragon on?
It looks like he did. Looks like he did take it. And down goes dragon number 1 for Nobody War. Good early play.
That also means that the enemies are going to be scaled higher. You also have to take that into account.
Enemies are going to scale higher, and the next dragon is going to be 30 levels higher than that one. So definitely something to watch out for.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Devious RNG finding Tritalk. That could be a little bit of a scary fight if you don't have anything that gets past his big defenses. And meanwhile, Nobody War finishing up the Phoenix Cave.
Yeah, I totally agree with the extra looting if you're not very happy with what you have for a little extra safety.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Good for it over in the Phoenix Cave.
Yeah, so that puts Nobody War. That's 3 Espers, 4 characters, and a dragon.
Yeah. Look on there.
Looks like he is also going to head up the South Figaro Cave, and that will wrap up all of Locke's checks.
Yeah, it looks like Nobody War's gonna finish off everyone's all Locke's checks. Not a bad strategy. Meteor and Quick on Ifrit?
Ooh. Very, very solid.
Wow.
There's a question in the chat. Are dragons mandatory here? And the answer is, for this flag set, yes. Our racers must kill 3 of them.
Yeah, but man. Definitely a good find for Nobody War. Getting Meteor and Quick.
Looks like the reward at South Figaro Cave was a Minerva, another one. So, a lot of elemental protection here. Goku, what do you think about Merton strats? Do you like them or do you hate them?
I love them as long as you have protection from it. Like you need to be able to either nullify or healing. Obviously, healing it from it is the best, but it also depends on who you're fighting.
Agreed. I know that personally, anytime I get to cast Merton is a good seed. It doesn't come around too often, at least in my case, but I really appreciate it anytime I'm able to do it.
Yes, and meanwhile, very rarely get to see this, but looks like RNG is going to the floating continent.
I don't hate that play either. Floating continent contains 3 checks, each of which can reward, potentially reward an Esper, and 2 of them, I believe, can reward either a character, Esper, or an item.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 2 of them can contain a character as well.
That's correct. The first check and the last check can both be characters. The Atma weapon spot can either be an Esper or an item. So it is a little bit lengthy, especially the beginning part. But once you get through it, once you get through that first part, it's pretty quick from there. And then there are 2 checks that are guaranteed to not be dead.
It's the first and last ones, right? They're not guaranteed to be dead.
Correct. Like Schwant said in the chat, the first check at Floating Continent can be either a character or an Esper. The second is an Esper or an item. And the third one is either a character or an Esper. So no matter what, Devious RNG is going to find
at least 2 things.
At least 2 things. Looks like they're coming up on the Ifrit and Shiva fight.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Down they go.
well, that's it. That's it for Ifrit and Shiva. A fixed dice came out and bye bye.
But there is a second fight after this.
Yeah, but that was just wow.
Yeah.
Was like,
You'll like to see him kill him so quickly.
Oh, Inferno.
Inferno can be a little rough. He's got a lot of nasty attacks like Delta Hit. I believe he can cast Diffuser.
Delta Hit is mainly what I seem to run into a whole lot when I like actual Delta Hit. When I'm actually fighting him, so I don't have a whole lot of damage going into it for some reason. Every single time I find Inferno, I just don't have enough damage.
Nobody War looks like he is in the Esper Cave. He will fight his Ultros. Is that vanilla Ultros 3?
I think so. Because yeah, it had to be right because it's not forward at all, and it's right.
Yeah, that is Ultros 3.
That has to be Vanilla Ultros 3. Is this even randomized?
Is this even randomized?
Am I allowed to say that on comms?
Devious RNG finding a unicorn Esper as the first check.
Nice. Another Esper. Up to, it looks like 4 and 4.
Yeah. So far, none of our racers have found another character yet. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Maybe there is one at the
end.
end.
Where are the characters in this seed?
You're required to say that on comms? Yes, absolutely.
I mean, if I can't say it, I already said it. So
can't unsay it.
Cannot say it.
Looks like nobody war is going to take his turn at Floating Continent. Yep.
I was just saying that.
Great minds think alike, right?
Yeah. I think Churchman's trying to go for the proc.
Fire Dance coming out. Very spicy tech.
I believe Realm has 2 Ragnaroks on.
Oh,
I could be
does
wrong.
she now?
I saw 2 Ragnaroks on someone. Yeah, he was going for the proc.
Not a terrible play either. Looks like Flurry taking down their Tritok.
Ooh, Runic. That's a very good strategy. I didn't even think about it.
So, Goku, let's say that there is not a character at the end of Floating Continent. If you are Devious RNG, where are you going next?
If I am him and if I'm RNG and if I don't find any characters here, I might be, since I'm new, I'm a little worried. I'll be a little worried, but I would probably, go and check. I might go and check the Phoenix Cave, since he hasn't done that yet.
That's true.
Might be obliged to say, okay, let's get some free checks out of the way.
Also a dragon in the Phoenix Cave. Nobody War already fought it. Devious RNG could definitely do it too. I don't think that would be a bad play.
Yeah, I might have. Yeah, that's what I personally would do. What about you?
I'm not 100% sure. There are some other checks available. You've got the Kefka at Narsh check, which is, we call that a peekable check, which means that you can see the reward before you actually complete the check, which is normally pretty nice. Normally you want to see those towards the end of the seed when you're trying to wrap up and go into Kefka's tower. But I don't know. I think I agree with the Phoenix Cave play. If you're Devious RNG, you don't have any dragons dead. I feel like you're pretty powerful, so you at least go and take that one.
Yeah, you definitely feel like you're powerful. You've been killing a whole lot of bosses, so you're pretty confident at this point.
There's an Aura Lance at the Atma weapon spot, so maybe not what they want to see given the very, very high level of offense that they already have, but
yeah,
nobody
War did fight that dragon, so we're going to be probably seeing that impact pretty soon. I didn't see what that back attack was on RNG's side.
I missed it as well. While our racers are in the middle of some stuff, let's go ahead and take a minute to plug Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, ff6wc.com. If you like what you see and if you want to get in on this action, we have a growing community. It is amazing. I've been a part of it myself for about a month. I'm a GDQ convert. I absolutely love it. Would highly recommend it to anybody who loves Final Fantasy VI and wants a little bit of a different experience with it.
And there's a Discord for people who are new to the game or just want to race or just want to casually talk about their seed. There's a place for people to give advice and whatnot. Very friendly community. You'll get an answer to your question within minutes, if not seconds. Definitely a good active community. I really enjoy it. So go ahead and join the Discord if you wish.
Please do. Devious RNG finds Umaro and takes down Umaro at the end of the floating continent, but not before Umaro claims the life of a small child.
She didn't even have a chance.
The dabbing Yeti. Who do we see
Yeah.
at the end?
What do we see? We see.
That's a sensor.
Why don't you? Would you like to talk about some of the checks that Setzer has?
I would love to talk about some of the checks that Setzer has. He's got, I call it 2.5 checks. You can go to the Kolingen Cafe, and there will be either a character or somebody else sitting there holding an Esper or an item. So a free check right there, and you get to go to a shop that normally you don't go to unless you're specifically going here to find the check, or to find or to do the check, excuse me. Finding Umaro there, by the way.
Ooh.
The same Yeti that just beat up the little girl is now in your party.
Poor child, though.
Yeah, poor kid. If you're in the world of Ruin, you can go to Daryl's tomb, which is very close to there. And that is his second check. Oh, immediately runs into the Doom Gaze.
Found the Doom Gaze check off random.
Goodness. I do not believe that Devious RNG was prepared for this.
I don't think either, but here's where we are here now, so...
Yeah. And meanwhile, LQ Flory finding Goddess. Looks like they're in Zozo.
Not a bad check.
No, I think it's a pretty great check. Reasonably quick. It is a little bit of walking. Let's see who's at the top of the Zozo Tower.
They're doing a little bit of looting. I'd say... Siren. Ooh.
Another great Esper to find there. Siren, very useful on tier 2 of the Kefka Tower.
Yes. Specifically, the guy in the back.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about him once our racers start getting over that way.
Meanwhile, RNG completely annihilates number 128.
Inferno's younger brother.
Yeah.
Even scaled up, he's pretty simple. So even if caught unawares, you should be able to take him down. No problem.
I mean, his big brother was already gone. You know, he's just looking for vengeance.
Yeah. Finding a pair of fixed dice at the end of that, so maybe not what he wants to see, although I'm not sure if any of our runners have a Genji glove. I know that they have an offering.
Yeah, so they had a Genji glove because I remember Realm had 2 Ragnaroks equipped with a Genji glove.
That's true, that's right. So if they really wanted to, they could dual wield fixed dice and throw them up to 8 times.
Meanwhile, nobody were finishing off the floating continent. While RNG goes into the Daryl's tomb, we'll see what RNG finds. looks like Flurry's going to take on the next dragon.
I believe that they have encountered this dragon in the Opera House, in the World of Ruin. So
Yeah.
this will be their second. This, assuming that he kills it, which it looks like he will. Doesn't seem... Yep.
There we go.
So no worries there. And now there's another 30 levels added to the dragon, but he's that much closer to unlocking Final Kefka. Question in chat, what seed is this? MFT, UL, or something else? To explain those acronyms to everybody else, MFT stands for Moogle's First Tournament, which if you are brand new to Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, say you're watching this stream for the very first time, and you're interested and want to learn more, the Moogle's First Tournament is a phenomenal place to get started. UL is our Ultros League, a little bit of a step up from that. And the item set that we've got here this is Item Rush Competitive. So basically, our racers start with 4 characters, a smattering of high-tier items, nothing in the shops. They are going to have to go and loot treasure chests and find their gear the old-fashioned way.
Yes, and definitely a good way to get started with the Moogle's First Tournament flag set. Meanwhile, we have RNG actually finding Atmo Weapon in Daryl's Tomb. Can be a little scary at certain levels, but I doubt he's really gonna have a hard time with this. I mean, Fixed Dice Offering,
Yeah, look at that.
I was like, he doesn't stand a chance.
It can be scary. With the way that abilities scale up in Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, or at least in this flag set. But finding a Minerva, I believe that is the 3rd Minerva of this seed.
I think so. I think you're correct on that.
Meanwhile, LQ Flory in the Cave on the Veldt. This is another one of those peekable checks. You'll be able to see the reward before you're able to go up and claim it.
I don't disagree with this play.
I don't either. For some reason, I feel like a lot of people avoid it. So it looks like he's going to pick up an Esper there.
Yeah. It's one of those, it's out of the way, but it's not too out of the way. If that makes sense. Plus, it puts you, if you have Strago as well, puts you in the direct path of doing the hide and check.
That's true. Finding leader there.
Leader's not long for this world.
No, absolute pushover.
He can be hit by break, petrify, instant death, what have you. So, as well as him not actually having a lot of health, makes him pretty easy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't think he hits very hard either.
Axe can be a little scary if for some reason you're not finding any good armor pieces, but he can only ever hit one person at a time, so not normally pretty scary.
Yeah.
TV's RNG heading up the cliffs. I can't tell if this is the World of Balance or World of Ruin. We'll find out here momentarily.
That's the World of Ruin.
Okay, then...
Yeah, because I didn't see any NPCs when he went up.
So it looks like that he will be encountering his second dragon. Or is this his first dragon? This is first dragon.
First dragon. Saying no to the dragon.
Huh. Okay. He is a little bit behind on Esper, so maybe maybe he feels like he needs an Esper before he can take it on.
Narapa, you want to talk about this specific boss?
Narapa is very easy. She starts out casting Condemned on all of your party members. She is vulnerable to instant death. However, she has innate reflect status. So you cannot cast death on her. You will have a bad time if you try to do that. But X-Zone, Odin or Raiden summons, Those will get rid of her in no time, and she doesn't have a whole lot of HP anyway.
Yeah, so
Not
pretty
very
much.
difficult.
Yeah, so pretty much don't cast reflectable spells or you'll have a bad time.
Chat says unless you reflect off yourself, and yes, that is correct. Unless you reflect off yourself, but those are some forbidden strategies. We do not talk of the deep magics here.
We don't talk about good strategies.
It looks like the Tzin Thief, which is also capable of carrying an Esper, instead has a Magus Rod this seed. So,
I mean, Magus Rod isn't bad.
It has a hefty amount of magic power attached to it, which is always nice to see.
Turt's been getting his Setzer.
Ooh, and the Setzer has Magitech attached to it too. I didn't even notice that the first time around. That's very, very fancy. Do you want to talk a little bit about Magitech and why it's so good, while Devious RNG tackles the Red Dragon?
I would be delighted to. So, Magitech in this game, obviously it's based off magic power. It has heal force that can heal one party member at a time. But the most important thing is everyone's favorite Magitech missile. It does a really good amount of damage, especially if you're like early on and enemies are lower leveled and yada yada yada. It's really good. It's just so good. It's got a very good amount of things on it. So definitely worth your time. Meanwhile, we are Nobody War takes a reset because of, I guess, the cursed shield, and he forgot to put a ribbon on.
Yeah, remove his 6 dice. So it looks like he'll just go right back in. No big deal there. Melchior Flurry on the Leet River. Wow. Yeah, I love anyone who takes the Leet River check.
Was that I think that was a life spell, right? When tried to do a life spell, is it like I forget if the no one did flag's on. So that's probably why it missed.
I am not 100% sure of that myself, but no worries there. Fixed dice is the solution to all of your problems.
Especially if you got a Genji Glove double fixed dice offering.
Yeah, it'll take a full minute for you to complete your turn, but you know what? I think it's worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Unlike other weapons, it does random damage. Just a certain amount of just random damage, and not like a fixed amount of damage based on your level. I mean, it does grow when you level up, but...
Devious RNG finding a Stompy Moogle in the Ultros check spot, and has to go through Ultros 1 to get it.
Ultros 1 isn't too scary. He's got a few things, but he's not too scary.
And not bad at all. Looks like
And down he goes.
Turd's been taking on his first dragon, the gold dragon, at the Jador auction house.
So it's going to be his first dragon. We got Mog. Okay. Mog has 1 check, and that's in the World of Balance Nurse.
Good opportunity to check out the Kefka at Nars check if they haven't already. Again, that one, you can see the reward before you commit to engaging it. So depending on what Devious RNG sees, he might opt to pass it up.
Looks like Flurry's just saying, I'm just going to ice 3 everything on this river.
It's not a bad strat.
It's like, get
He's
me out
coming
of these
up on the
random
end.
encounters. He's like, get me out of these random encounters, man.
Finds a fun
Boom,
Baba. The demon who skipped leg day.
And that's a fair assumption.
With arms like that. Ooh.
Yeah, but he's got arm day. I mean, look at his arms. They're beefy.
It's a big beefy boy. But not too much of a threat here. I don't think that Flurry's going to have any difficulty taking him down.
Question in chat saying, is Ultima actually on?
I'm not inclined to think so. I don't believe it is.
Oh, I think I know exactly what RNG forgot. I think RNG forgot to go into the room to trigger the thing above.
Oh, that's right. It looks like you
I
missed Lone
think he
Wolf.
forgot. Oops.
I have done that myself many a time.
That's a big oops. I've done that a few times, so I know the feeling.
We'll see if Devious RNG can get the skip here. He's going for it. Gets
Chat's
it,
pointing
no
out that
problem.
the Lead River was a dead check.
Yeah, oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, especially since how much time you have to invest into it.
Devious finding cold spaghetti.
Is that what Worlds Collide calls it now?
Oh, I call it any number of things. It's cold spaghetti here because it's on top of a mountain. The dreadful linguine.
What?
Pernicious pasta, whatever you like. Flurry taking a peek at
It looks
Mobley's.
like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties on Turdsman's end. Hopefully he can get that fixed up there.
Yeah, so we'll see where Turdsman's at when he comes back.
Palador.
Looks like Flurry is going to take the Strago that is at Mobley's.
I can see it. Strago's a pretty good character, and depending on what he has, I mean, might be worth it to take anyway. I mean, you're needing 6 characters, so...
Okay, so it looks
Why
like
not?
Turdsman's stream is actually still continuing, just frozen on our end, so... Here's hoping we get him back soon. So Funbaba here is going to blow away 2 characters with his Baba Breath ability. It is effectively random, although if you have dead characters, he will prioritize blowing those members away. So there's a little bit of strategy here if you wanted some characters to get levels.
And there's the Baba Breath. Well, at least Shadow's still there. At least Shadow's still there.
He'll throw dice at the problem. Meanwhile, Nobody War going into Daryl's tomb might be disappointed with what he finds.
I mean,
this is a Minerva.
Yeah, it's not the check that you're wanting, but it's something. It doesn't give you like a Esper or a character, but you know, it's a Minerva. You know, no one dislikes Minervas.
That's true. I really don't dislike Minervas. Looks like Flurry wrapping up his fight with the vicious tunnel armor, which actually isn't all that vicious, but you know. That will be his 5th character. So what do you think if you're Flurry? Where did you go from here? Because I think he's gone to Phoenix Cave, is that right?
I believe so. Well, we're about to see where he's going to go next.
Looks like it's a trip up Narsh.
Oh, Go-Go over at on RNG's screen.
So, do you want to talk about the Kefka Tower skip?
That sounds like a great thing to talk about. So when you are able to do the Kefka Tower skip, you are able to go straight to the statues without having to go through the entire dungeon. It says I want to say 4 or 5 minutes maybe. Overall, you don't have to fight the Inferno boss either. So it saves quite a bit of time, but it can or can't be worth it because of how long it may take to actually get there versus just going there originally.
That's correct. So for this set of flags, there are actually 2 skips available. You can get them with either 9 characters or 11 espers, or completing a total of 20 checks. The second skip is available if you get 22 checks. Now, it's worth noting that you can only have 1 skip available at a time. So if you get the first skip and then you get the second skip, you get 1 shot to go straight to the statues. If you take it and then you leave the tower for whatever reason, you got to start all the way from the start.
Yes, that's why it's very important to get that first skip. And take it before you do the other one. Looks like RNG is going into the mansion.
Flory wrapping up Ebbett's Rock there. That can take a while because of just how random it can be. You have to collect 22 pieces of coral, and you get anywhere from 1 to 5 in every chest that you open, and you are not guaranteed to warp to wherever you need to warp to. But he got through just fine and is fighting Magimaster's younger brother. This is number 128.
Oh, number 24.
Number 24, excuse me. Number 128 is the big purple guy. I always get them mixed up. I will continue to get them mixed up, and you can't stop me.
Yeah, but I can correct you. Jokes aside, though, they're just 2 numbers.
Gets the Torado Esper for his efforts.
Depending on what it teaches, it's not so bad. Bolt 3, not bad.
And Break as well. So, not a bad Esper at all. Comment in chat saying Nobody War is doing the auction house, and one thing that I didn't note earlier is that doing the auction house will increase boss levels by 10. So it can be a pretty quick way to get a quick Esper, but there is a lot of risk attached to it as well.
Yeah, you also run the risk of the bosses being stronger. And I did not know that there was a chest behind there. I just learned something new today.
See?
Wow. Okay, I learned something new today. Is that like common knowledge in this community?
You never know, right? Like, I've been playing this game since I was a kid, and there are still things that I'm finding out to this day about this game, so...
Yeah.
It looks like Flory is in the Burning House. It's one of the more dreaded checks, in my opinion, just because of how long it can be, and if you don't skip a lot of the battles, and skipping the battles, by the way, is very tough.
I've seen someone do it, though.
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, it was RNG. RNG did it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh right.
Skipped basically every one.
Yeah. I saw it and went, whoa. Now you can do that? Watch the VOD back.
The RNG and Nobody War basically neck and neck right now. Looks like RNG polishing off his Dullahan just before Nobody War.
Yeah, they're basically neck and neck now.
Well, we got Turdsman back for a second.
Yeah, then now he's frozen again. Very sad when that happens.
I have a little bit of a break here. I want to take a moment to, first of all, plug our runners. They're all doing an excellent job, and you should definitely give each of them a follow. And if you don't do it, well, I mean, nothing I can do, but you should do it anyway. Shout outs to our tracking team. That's Plastic Cat and the Schwartz27. Thank you both so much for doing that. And of course, my co-commentator, Goku. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, and follow Gar as well. Great community. Wouldn't be nearly as fun without my partner in crime.
Too kind. All right, Flory coming up on the end of the burning house. See if you can sneak by those. Yep, no problem.
See if RNG actually does pick up Strago.
Ultras 2 in the burning house. Gotta say, I don't think this is the right spot for an octopus.
Says yes to Strago. Says, I will take that old man any day.
We got Turdsman back, and Turdsman is fighting the Red Dragon on the slopes of Narsh.
Well, at least we know that's what the dragon is.
Nobody War taking on the Gold Dragon.
Wasn't the Red Dragon a really big pain a while back? But wasn't there one that was like that?
I don't think so. I don't think any of our runners have had any issues with the dragons thus far.
No, I'm talking like a few races back.
Maybe. I have the memory of a goldfish, so
I have a vague memory of it.
This time around, no worries.
Picking up an ice Opera House. The Red Dragon was in the Opera House, and they were underleveled for it. I vaguely remember it. Regardless, Nobody War getting through that dragon.
That is his second. It looks like Turdsman has completed all 3 of his dragons. So then he is on the hunt for 2 more Espers.
Yes, and then that will put him specifically in the lead, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be, but it's really close. LQ Flory missing a character and 2 dragons. Devious RNG missing 2 Espers and 2 dragons. And Nobody War just missing an Esper and a dragon, so very, very close here.
It was a very close race. Who do you specifically think is in the lead right now?
Ooh, right now, that's a tough call. I'm gonna say Turdsman. Although Turdsman, what was the reward for defeating Tritalk here, or
I believe it was an Esper.
So he's gonna find the Esper here. He's gonna find his Mog in the cave.
Yes, it was an Esper. Okay, I was like, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, it was an Esper. Alexander, that's right.
Okay, and Flory is in the Phoenix Cave. Probably gonna take on the dragon there.
Yeah, I can see it.
So if I had to put a name to it, it would be Turdsman, I would say, in the lead. But honestly, it's still anybody's race.
Yeah, and specifically, I think Turton would actually be in the lead right now. So I think you are correct on that. Sadly, not really going to be finding the Esper that he's looking for when he's going down here. Sadly, correct me if I'm wrong though, but I don't think anyone's checked Gogo's cave.
No, nobody has checked Gogo's cave yet. Devious RNG coming up on their goddess fight.
Ooh, love token goes off. Guess what that means?
We do
Bye,
have
bro.
Gogo. Gogo is the reward for Mog's check.
Yes. I was gonna say that's like someone's going. Oh man, 2 love tokens. Wow.
That's correct. Only Devious RNG has Gogo so far. He's the only person to do Mog's check.
Yes. That's correct.
And once again, Devious RNG and Nobody War on the same wavelength. Excuse me, doing their goddesses.
Kind of unfortunate though that the we had 2 love tokens go off.
Yeah, love token, very nasty. It forces one of your characters to eat any fight commands that get sent out.
Which includes the Fixed Dice offering combo.
Looks like Turdsman spending some time and money in the auction house.
I didn't. Well, that has to be something really expensive. I didn't. He's paying. What? Oh, a gold hairpin.
Comments in the chat, offering does not count for love token. That is correct. It has to be a vanilla fight command. So offering changes fight to X fight, which is basically 4 swings instead of the usual 1. And that will get around love token.
Thank you for correcting me. I was pretty sure it was, but I guess not. Meanwhile, Nobody War grabbing Siren from Zozo. Very, very important Esper though. Cast Mutant on all the enemies on screen.
And that's important for tier 2 of Kefka's tower. The tiers of Kefka's final boss. I have got to find a better name for it. Anyway, the second part of that fight, there is a monster in the back. His name is Magic, and Magic is vulnerable to mute. So you mute him, and you basically take him out of the fight. Turdsman getting an Esper. I didn't see what that was.
Looks like Flurry's frozen now.
But if I'm not mistaken, that is his 9th. So all that he needs is 1 more dragon, and he will be in go mode.
And I think that's why Nobody War is actually going in straight into the tower. Straight into the tower. All he needs is 1 dragon, and he can get that easily. All he has to do is fight a dragon in the tower. Boom, we're done.
Yep. I did not see how he allocated his party, so I'm not sure if he's going to warp out, stack 1 party, and then warp out, and then rebalance it.
I believe he was checking for, specifically for, how many checks that he's done to say, hey, do I have am I close to the Kafka Tower skip?
That's fair. Looks like Turdsman coming in right behind him Is he in go mode? It looks like that he is.
Yes, he is. So he doesn't have to fight the dragon because he's already got all 3. Yeah, Churchman doesn't have to fight the dragon, but Nobody War does.
Ooh.
So that puts him in a slight advantage going into here.
Finding Doom
Yeah, you
in
can just
the Inferno spot. That can be kind of rough. But it looks like he's got Genji Glove offering with the fixed dice.
Yeah, I don't
should be
really
able to
see
take him
him
down.
having too much of a hard time with this.
Yeah, no. Tons and tons of offense here.
Northern Cross coming out, though. Well, thankfully it doesn't hit Shadow. Oh, was that 8,400 damage?
Yes, it was. And
Quad
that's a max
9.
roll.
I don't think he's going to see the light of day.
I agree. I think this is going to be the end of poor old Doom.
And crack boom. Oh, does Churchman have an offering?
Or he has an offering and he doesn't want to use it on the fixed dice because it does have a pretty lengthy animation every time he throws those dice, so...
That also puts him in a slight disadvantage, if you think about it.
He's getting pretty unlucky with his rolls. They're doing several hundreds of damage or even double-digit damage.
Ooh, yeah. Super unlucky with the rolls. Wow. If you were Turdsman and you're going this far into the fight, you have a full quad-digit hit yet. Would you think about resetting?
Oh no, not at all. It can be a little scary, especially now that he's in the front row, and Doom hurts. It looks like Flurry, he's taking a trip up to the floating continent. So he will find a Setzer. They'll find a Setzer and they'll get a skip out of it, so... But it is a pretty lengthy check towards the end here, so I don't know.
Yeah, that dragon was not long for the world either.
Yep, Skull Dragon going down without a problem for Nobody War.
There's the high damage that he was trying to get. Like the 9,000, 7,000 damage. That's what you're trying to go for with fixed dice. You know, he just needs a few more hits of like that, and then he'll be good. I imagine.
Nobody War looks like he's electing to stay in the tower, which makes sense given that he...
Oh!
Ooh!
Turdsman takes a wipe and a reset.
Yeah, that is a little unfortunate there for Turdsman.
Yeah, especially since how far in the fight he was. I wonder if he's gonna consider putting on the, no? Okay, wait. Oh. Do you have the offering of someone else? Dragon Boots? Is that the concept we're going with now?
Jumping with fixed dice is definitely a lot quicker.
Oh yeah, and he's got the dragon horn. That totally makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the neat thing about jump is that I believe it's a 1.5 times multiplier on your damage that you deal, and that applies to fixed dice. So on average, you should be doing about 1.5 times more with the dice when you jump. And the dragon horn allowing you to jump between 2 and 4 times should be pretty good here.
Plus, while you're in the air, you're invincible.
And you stay out of the way of attacks. Yep, absolutely.
Oh, there's the quad 9. That's the
See?
damage we want to see.
It's already working out. Nobody War coming up on the final 4 fights before the Kefkateers.
That's honestly something I wasn't expecting to see, though. That Dragoon Boots Dragon Horn fixed dice strat.
Definitely a very spicy strat for sure. One that I like to employ myself, but almost never get the chance to.
Are we allowed to say stuff like this on comms?
Again, I'm forced to.
He can't suplex him? Come on. Hey, he tried. That's what it is, you know.
That's
just
the most important part. Nobody War finding Rex Soul.
He absorbs fire, so Merton and Fire 3, definitely not a good strategy for that. So just, and they
Yep.
do, the reflect only goes on the front Soul Savers, so. And down goes Doom on Turdsman's side.
So, Nobody War still ahead, but remember that this is anybody's game. Takes a reset there, and that's actually pretty unfortunate. The last save point that you get is pretty far back. That's back there in where you fought Doom. So a little bit of a hike back to
a warp
back there.
stone.
So see, just like that, Turdsman pulls ahead. That's how quickly things in this game can change.
A warp stone. Oh, I see what's going on. He's going to change his party around. That's not a bad option, honestly.
Audio sounds good to me.
Reform party. Once you enter Kefka's tower, I don't think that he was able to get the skip in the first place, so he's going to have to walk all the way through, which puts Turdsman in the lead again. It's anyone's race, though.
Literally anything can happen with these final 4 fights. They can be very rough. The Kefkateers can be very rough.
Looks like he forgot to put a Moogle Charm on.
Devious RNG wrapping up the last of his dragons. So he is 1 character away from go mode, and he has a skip enabled.
Yeah, Turdsman forgot to put his Moogle Charm back on. I've done that before.
I do that basically every time. Nobody War taking a 4th dragon.
No, he had to refight
no.
the dragon.
He had to refight it. Oh no. Oh, he
Just
did not
refight.
save?
No, he didn't.
Oh no.
And so he has to refight this dragon.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. Devious RNG gonna get his Esper here.
Which I believe puts him at 7. If I'm looking at this right.
Looks like he has just unlocked Final Kefka, as well as the skip.
Well, that's pretty impressive. You can go
He does
straight.
have the 9 characters, so he can just go straight to the statues.
Oh, looks like RNG's not going to go straight there just yet.
Yep, just do a little bit of a final prep.
I can respect that.
Herdsman, close to encountering his... Oh, who is that Guardian spot? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just forgot.
Was it... I believe it was... Rexel?
Rexol, that's right, thank you. Whew, it's been a long day.
It's my job as your co-commentator to remember things for you.
Thank you, much obliged.
Is he going to take a random encounter?
Okay, and Flory, with his pickup of Setzer, only has 1 more dragon to kill, and then he's got to skip as well. So all of our runners here, pretty close to each other.
I'm a little confused on why RNG went for the random encounter.
Well, what are his levels at?
He's just fighting with Shadow.
He had, I believe, one of his party members ran away. No.
He's just fighting with Shadow. That's all he did.
Huh.
I don't know the reasoning behind that.
So it looks like Bum Rush is the play there. Shadow does have Blitz, so Bum Rush is very, very strong. So if he's trying to get to level 42, I believe, is Bum Rush level.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. I wasn't entirely sure when I first saw it. I'm like, what?
Yep, looks like that's exactly what the play was. So he's going to go to Master Duncan. He's going to learn his Bum Rush. And then, hard to believe that he won't be stepping in the tower right after that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't see him not.
Flory taking on the Ice Dragon in the Fanatics Tower.
Oh yes, and chat pointing out that he also has Go-Go, so he's got 2 Bum Rush users. So that's going to be great.
Absolutely.
So that's going to make the tower a lot easier.
Nobody War already back up to his Rexol fight.
This is just a waiting game now. Better to be safe than sorry, so I definitely agree with this play.
Ooh, with that Pearl proc, though, that's unfortunate. Rexol absorbs the Pearl element, so that's going to heal him a little bit. But with that Tech Missile, with those Illuminous Wings, should make pretty quick work of him.
Another Pearl proc.
One thing to note about the procs is that if Terra swings her Illumina and it kills Rexol, Pearl will not proc.
Is that a fact?
Yes, indeed.
I was not aware of that.
Opting to just throw something instead of risking the heal.
Water Edge. Didn't do that much damage, I'm afraid. Looks like Turchman's stream is frozen again.
Okay, and down goes Rexol.
Oh, there we go.
And Turdsman at basically the same time. Wow.
And just like that, the gap is closed again.
Flurry's in go mode. Just making their way down the tower.
I am interested to see who is actually going to be the first place finisher. Because we're so close here.
Oh, absolutely. Dataluma for Nobody War. That is not going to be a problem.
Yeah, especially with the Illumina Terra. I don't see this fight lasting too long.
Meanwhile, Devious RNG in Figaro Basement. I'm guessing that he is attempting to scrape together some money for some supplies before he heads into the tower. Although I guess I was wrong. I predicted that he would just go to the tower straight away, and did
But
not.
it's never bad to stock up on stuff if you're not feeling confident.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely better to be over-prepared than under-prepared.
Yeah, definitely.
That
Did
is the middle path done.
did
for Nobody
Turds
War.
find more than 2 fixed dice? What is...
Is Shadow doing 4 throws with him?
I don't know. I think he's just
It
doing
looks
one.
like just one. So Setzer has a pair and Shadow has a pair.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, they're like about caught up with each other. Now, Nobody War is slightly in the lead, but not too far in front.
Flurry taking what looks to be a 4th dragon? And the red dragon up on Narsh.
Might
That
not
will
be
get him some more levels, which means that his offense is going to be pretty darn high, especially relative with our other racers here. And dragon scaling, like the 30 levels only applies up to plus 60 max, which means that any further dragons...
Oh, got the KT skip. That's what he was going for.
I believe that is his second one. With 11 characters, he should have...
Aw, it's very sad. That's very saddening. You don't have Blitz on this specific character?
Oh no!
Well, that just confirmed everything the next thing I was gonna ask. Looks like Doom Train is not undead, which means that a no undead flag is on.
That's correct. Well, the Ghost Train is undead. However, in this particular flag set, the no undead flag is on, so you don't get the freebie kills with Phoenix Downs or Revivifies. What that does mean, though, is that now they are susceptible to things like Doom, or Odin, or Raiden, or X-Zone.
I thought I did see Doom, but maybe I just saw someone else's screen. Ooh, RNG taking a reset.
Well, that's unfortunate. I didn't notice why he did that.
I didn't either.
Maybe he made a mistake with his party, so...
Maybe it was Rex.
Very quick to get back in there.
Ghost Train's down on both Nobody War and Turkmen's screens.
So they both have one boss each before the Kefkateers. It's starting to sound like Musketeers in my head. I need to find a different name.
While we're waiting for these amazing runners to work their magic in the seed, I just want to take the time to shout out my co-commentator Gar, as well as the restreamer and the tracker tonight. If it weren't for these wonderful people, then we wouldn't have a show for you guys to watch. nothing for us to be commentating on, so drop them a follow.
Yeah, please go follow all of our runners. Thanks again to Goku, my co-commentator. Thank you so much to Plastic Cat and D Schwantz 27. Super amazing folks. But really, everyone in our community is amazing. And if you join our community, you too can be amazing.
Make it sound like there's no one here is amazing.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant to imply at all.
That's what it sounded like to me, though.
Everyone's amazing. But you become even more amazing by joining the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide community. That's ff6wc.com, and you can get started rolling your very own seeds. Chatternook here on Nobody War screen. You kind of don't want to see him this late in the game. He shouldn't have any problem taking him down, but he can be pretty nasty, especially with a party of two. So, meanwhile, Flurry taking down their Dataluma, and Devious RNG putting the hurt on Rex Soul.
And it looks like Kurtzman does not have Siren. Did he not go to Zozo?
I don't believe he did, no.
And that's going to be the difference. And I believe Nobody War did go to Zozo, so he will have Siren.
I'm not sure if any of their espers have mute, but if they do, that will also suffice.
But if they don't...
Okay, Nobody War on the switches at 118.40 or so.
Yes, and we'll see. Gar, do you want to talk a little bit about the Kefka tiers while waiting?
Sure, yeah. So Tier 1 has 3 phases to it, or 3 components to it, rather. It's got the face, the long arm, and the short arm. The long arm you will see here in just a moment. It is basically the tower's right arm. That's the one that's closest to the screen. The short arm is his left arm, obviously. And then the head's a head. The long arm is vulnerable to things like break or instant death. So we're probably going to see our runners use some combination of those to take care of the left arm pretty quickly. After that, the head is weak to fire, and you want to kill the head second because if you kill him last, he will counter with Quake, and Quake is very, very dangerous.
And that's exactly why we all do it. Having a hard time with killing the long arm though with instant death. Finally get to that 3 tries.
3rd time's the charm.
I had a feeling you were gonna say something similar. I mean, it's just one of those things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to be a little careful though, because with the offering, your fight targeting is random. So what you want is for most of your fights to hit the head. Because if you kill the arm first, again, you're going to get quaked, and you're not going to have a good time. Devious RNG getting through their middle path and on that middle switch. And Flurry, I believe, is done. And they are ready to begin their Kefka-tiers. Oh, nope, maybe not. They got one more. I'm going to go down the left-hand side here.
I believe... who entered Kefka's tower first? Flurry or RNG?
I believe it was Flurry, because RNG wound up hitting up the South Figaro basement before he went in. Nobody War taking out tier 1 of Kefka's tiers.
So,
Tier
Gar,
2.
do you
Go
want
ahead.
to talk about the tier 2 stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tier 2, definitely a step up from tier 1. You've got four bits there. You see a tiger head in the bottom right. His name is Tiger. You see a big blue buff guy. His name is Hit. There is a woman kind of in the middle. You see some kind of machinery around her. That's Tools. And then the one on the far left is Magic. You see Siren coming out there. That will mute Magic, and again, Magic can only cast spells, so that basically renders him useless until he dies and does his death counters. Tools is vulnerable to instant death, so you see Doom coming out there, taking him out. Tiger is weak to ice. And Tiger does a whole lot of nasty things. He can turn you into zombies. He casts all kinds of nasty AoE spells, so you typically want to get rid of him next. And Hit just hits you.
Yeah, he's got the 10 hits after you kill him. Decently underwhelming, honestly, unless very low on defense and levels.
Where the challenge comes is if you don't have any of the tools that allow you to deal with that, like if you don't have a silencing effect for Magic, or you don't have instant death for Tools, this fight becomes a lot more dangerous. Looks like Flurry starting their climb.
Shadow getting frozen. That's a feels bad moment. I'm guessing that Terra has, flame shield. I was like, she has to have a flame shield. Or, nobody wore to actually say, hey, I'm gonna do it.
Couple of party members that are frozen on Nobody War's side. Freeze is a very annoying status effect. It can be removed with fire spells, like you see Nobody War doing here. But if you don't have a fire spell, you're basically just waiting for the timer to expire on it, and that can be a while. Turdsman, starting his climb, stepping on the switch, is about a minute behind Flurry.
This is still anyone's game, so you have to keep that in mind. I mean, someone could lose to the final tiers and be behind.
Yep.
So Nobody War may be in the lead now, but he might not be later.
Absolutely, yeah. Tier 3, especially, is quite dangerous once you get the rest portion of it to under 10,000 HP. He starts countering and using dangerous moves like Meteo and Train. Now, hopefully we see neither of those here, but again, anything is possible.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Flurry very, very quickly taking out Tier 1. You could take a look at their party. There's a lock there with 6,400 HP. Very, very stacked. So he's got a ton of offense. Devious RNG still working through their Chatternook. He can be a little rough. One thing to note is that Terra is in the back row with the Ragnarok. Now, with the Illumina does the same damage from the back row as it does from the front, but that is not the case for Ragnarok. If you're going to be swinging that sword, you need to be in the front row.
Oh, there goes Chatternook, though. And nobody worse. Moving on to the next phase.
Why don't you talk about Tier 3?
You gonna let me?
Oh, of course.
So, the girl in the back will revive Sleep in the front if he dies. So that's why you want to take her out first. And she absorbs pretty much every single element, so you got to use non-element attacks on her. Sleep, when you kill him, uses a instant death attack called Calmness. And it's a physical attack, so if you put like something like Fenrir or Golem or Phantom or any of those spell kind of Esper effects up, then it completely takes the hit away, and you're safe for the final Kefka. If you don't, it's gonna be RNG.
One thing about the girl, her name is Girl, by the way. She also has an attack called Calmness. You just saw it there on Nobody War Scream. It is not the same calmness that Rest does. Rest is the gentleman laying back, being all cool. Her calmness will just put you to sleep, so that's not that bad. The thing with Girl is that she absorbs every element, and she has quad 9 HP. Ooh!
Ooh! 2 went off. Ooh, that's the thing, you know. Too many hits.
Yeah, with that offering fixed dice, you can't control where it goes, so that's a little unfortunate. We'll see what final Kefka is like for Nobody War, but I think he's gonna have a good time, or a pretty miserable time. Sorry.
We got Amaro and Realm. Amaro and Realm. Not nearly as good, I'm afraid.
Flurry taking out their Tier 2. They're ascending to Tier 3. Devious RNG starting their fight.
Now, one thing to note about Final Kefka, the Final Kefka himself, if he is under, I believe it's the 10,000 HP threshold, he counters with Ultima. But if he's charging up for Goner, all that goes away. But as soon as he's done with the Goner, it comes back.
That's correct.
So you got to be really careful.
Nobody War still has Shadow, still has that good offense.
And out comes Fallen One.
He's gonna have to be careful here. Any kind of counter would be devastating here.
Oh yeah, especially since we have almost everyone at 1 HP. I believe a Ultima here would kill this party.
Flurry demonstrating that the multi-summon flag is turned on, so you can summon multiple times per fight. He had summoned on Tier 2, and he just resummoned for Tier 3. See if this kills him here. Getting pretty good rolls.
We're getting pretty good rolls, though. But here's hoping. Not quite. Not quite done yet. Oh, Ghana goes off. And we know for a fact that Umaro and Realm are both dead. I don't know if Shadow's gonna survive.
I think he should. Turd's been cleaning up his tier 2. He's ascending to tier 3.
And that is a time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 46 seconds. GG's to Nobody War. See if we can get him in for an interview.
GG to Nobody War. Meanwhile, Flurry, as one Kefka dies, another one ascends. It looks like their columnist treated him nicely, so... Nobody War, welcome and congratulations on your first place finish.
All right, thank you.
How do you feel about the run overall?
Oh, I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. A little bit different than everything that we've kind of been running with the Ultros League and Moogle's new tournament. I like the idea that I didn't have to worry about shopping because I never do it anyway. So
That's something I can relate.
I'm just punching stuff all day long. That was my mindset.
Yeah, I do tend to like that myself. I don't check shops nearly as often as I probably should, but at any rate, speaking of the Moogle's first tournament, it looks like you tried to do like the Phoenix Downs on the Ghost Train. Did you just did you forget about the Noah Ned flag?
I didn't read the flags too well.
Oh.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I saw you guys talking about it, and I got the seed late, just jumped in, didn't read too much, and I saw the requirements and the different things with the skip at 22 checks, but that was an awful lot. I think I ended up 19 total. Got that third dragon in the tower, so...
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed it, but it wasn't until about 45 minutes in when I realized that I had Terra in my party, not Celeste. On my tracker, my own personal one, I had Celeste checked, and I'm like, oh yes, I'm gonna do factory now, and then obviously like I went there and the guards were there.
I did notice that, and I was gonna actually ask the question about that, but you got that covered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
What about the reset without the save? How did you feel about that?
Oh yeah, it was okay. It wasn't too much of a time loss. I was more stressing resetting out of Rexel and having to go back into the tower. Or were you talking about in the Belt Cave?
No.
No, we're talking about like Kefka's Tower.
I was talking about the KT.
Oh yeah. No, that was okay. Yeah, I mean, I was worried a little bit. I knew it was right around that hour mark, and other people were probably there. I just see Flurry got the Krapow, so...
I just did too. Congratulations to Flurry. We'll get them in here for an interview momentarily.
Yep.
But I don't have
everybody
anything...
was kind of on the same pace.
This was really close. I am very, very glad that I got to watch this. It was definitely a treat.
I'm curious about other people's like routing. I went Phoenix Cave first, obviously, to try to get that dragon early and easy. And then like my game plan was like, oh, I thought I had Celis, so I was gonna do Floating Continent, then hop into Magitech, and I was like figuring I'm gonna have Esper by then. It worked out though that it was Terra. Did Narsh quick, peak Funbaba. That was no good. Bestrago. Did anybody pick that up?
Yes. They. Who else had Strago?
Did anybody do Elite River?
Flurry did.
Yeah, Flurry did.
Okay.
I think it was a dead check, wasn't it?
And that was unfortunately a dead check. Yeah.
That's all I had for you. Again, congratulations on your first place finish. Goku, do you have anything?
Thank you much.
All I can say is GG's on your victory here today. How are you feeling?
Did we lose him?
Oh wait, no, I'm here. You guys cut out.
Oh,
I said, how are you feeling going forward? Congratulations on your win.
Oh, I'm pretty good. I know. Ultros is 1 week till it's over. And the tournament starting. Nice little break in between things.
absolutely.
Yeah, and
I'm good.
again, GG's on your win.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, sir. Take
You
care.
have a good one.
Later.
Flurry, GG's on your second place. How are you feeling after that one?
A little bummed that I figured out that what's that place called? Floating Continent is required when you need just one check. That was a little bit of a bummer. Otherwise, okay. Like that was the first time I ran those flags, so I kind of had to do a little bit on the fly. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, well, you did very well. One thing that I noticed was that you wound up taking a fourth dragon. Was that intentional? Did you want the levels, or what was your thought process there?
Yeah, I kind of wanted just a little extra security, but I guess. But yeah, I guess at first I thought it was 4, and then I kind of realized it like on the way up, and I was like, oh, well, let's just get the levels. Safety's good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I commented on your lock having a whole boatload of HP, so it definitely worked out.
Meanwhile, Kurtzman has a final time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 4 seconds. GG on his third place in the race.
We'll get him in here for an interview shortly. But Flurry, I believe you were the only person to do the Leet River, and for that you have my eternal gratitude. I love anybody who does Leet River as a check.
I mean, when it's that late, I feel like when it comes to Floating Continent, you either kind of want to do it early or not at all. So I think those were the checks where I was like, all right, fine.
How bummed were you that Leet wound up being a dead check?
Not too bad, just because it felt like we were running low on checks relatively early that seed, so the ones that were less common I thought were kind of on the table anyway. So it's hard to judge what someone else likes to do and what they're not going to do. So I just kind of played my own way, and not a fan of an hour 15-minute Floating Continent. So that was why I did Burning House, why I did Leet River, and all those.
Yeah, I do believe that you were the only person to do Burning House as well. So, and I know that those are lengthy checks as well. So coming in second place there, definitely impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. After all the weird and wacky things that happened in this seed, you came in second. GG's on that.
I suppose. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, any overall thoughts on the seed itself?
That's a GG for devious RNG as well.
Oh, nice. I thought the seed was pretty straightforward, other than not finding characters, which that's it's a Worlds Collide thing. You're either gonna get all Espers or all characters. That's just the way it goes. Not realizing it was 3 dragons until halfway up the walk probably cost me making it at least close. But otherwise, like, yeah, I thought that was it was fun to get like your method of strength right off the bat, and not having to worry too much about, do I need to check an extra shop because this might have an Illumina, or do I need to check this spot worrying, do I have enough strength, or am I just going to lose a minute and a half each check? Having that right off the bat is a nice change of pace. So I had a good time.
And Guard, do you have any final thoughts before we let Flurry go?
I've got nothing, but once again, congratulations, Flurry, on your second place.
All right, thank you very much. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, take care. Have a good evening. Meanwhile, we have both Devious RNG and Turdsman in here. Congratulations to you both on the amazing photo finish. How do y'all feel about your runs overall?
I found it interesting when I first jumped in the room. Flurry was talking about not finding any characters, whereas I found every character. So
yeah.
It was pretty frustrating. And I made like the dumb mod mistake and a couple other things, but overall I thought it was like a nice new way to play because I've never played this kind of flag set before. Yeah, other than only finding characters, I thought everything went fine.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just similarly, I've never played one of these, the item seeds that just kind of front load you. And just yesterday, I did my Ultros League thing for the week, and I ended up having to rely a lot more on physical attacks than I normally do. So, like, when I ended up with, I think, 2 Ragnaroks, an Illumina, 2 fixed dice, like, all the spears that I can eat, like, it was, I don't know, kind of clicked for me right away. I just thought that was kind of neat.
One thing about this flag set is that basically everybody has said this was new and this was interesting, and I'm glad I did it. So I'm glad to hear that you two aren't really any different in that regard.
Oh yeah, like I haven't done a whole lot other than the standard one so far, and I think this is probably going to goose me a bit to try some of the weirder seeds.
Yeah. I feel like it'd be more interesting if we didn't have so many items front loaded, to make it a little bit more like people who know where those tiny little treasure troves we normally skip are. But yeah, I definitely thought it was an interesting set, especially starting with Terra. Like I might be the only person that didn't do that first Esper Mountain skip. I don't know what the other runners did. But like making a decision like that early on, like, has big ramifications later on in the game. So yeah, it definitely seems like a cool flag set that could really be tweaked around a little bit to have very different styles of play.
Yeah, and I actually learned something new today while I was watching stream. That little chest in the back behind the 3 doors. I did not know there was a chest back there in the, the mansion.
Yeah, I just learned about the Daryl's Tomb secret chest like a couple days ago. I feel like every time I watch a new stream, there's like another random box that shows up, or another strat that you haven't seen before. So
I've played the vanilla game a billion times, and I still find it like that chest on Kefka's Tower at the very end. I did not know about that until like a month ago.
The hidden one?
Yeah.
The main chest?
That particular chest is one that I learned when I started playing this game as well. So I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one.
Yeah, same here.
So, Turdsman, you had a wipe on Doom.
I did.
Yeah, what were you thinking after that?
I was a little worried running into the music, but I think that was with the Setzer party, I believe. So I think that was God,
Yeah,
was it?
sets are in shadow.
Okay, yeah. I think that was. I don't know. I kind of didn't think in the fight to actually swap out shields. That would have been the move. But once I was out, I kind of calmed down for 2 seconds and thought like, okay, what's this guy do? Oh, he does ice. I've got 500 elemental shields here. Let's pop one of those on.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely agree with that plan.
And
But
then,
in the fight itself, I just didn't. I wasn't thinking quickly enough. I was just like, okay, he's here. I could put damage on the board. But
Yeah, surprisingly enough, you and Nobody War were actually neck and neck for a while when you hit Kefka's Tower. Nobody War actually used a warp stone to put his party back into a certain position to fight Rexel, whereas you just went and continued.
that might not have been a bad idea because Rexol's definitely where I lost the most time.
he was pretty rough for all of our runners, really. And I mean, honestly, that's just kind of how he is, right?
Yeah,
I completely forgot until after I used jump that, he's going to jump on the other two little guys over and over again. This sucks.
Yeah.
Nobody likes.
I think that's why you I think that's where you lost maybe the most time in Kefka's Tower.
Yeah, definitely. Even more than the wipe, honestly. Well, because when I went back in against Doom, I put the Dragoon set on Setzer, remembering okay, that works with fixed dice pretty well too, and then I just got all the 9s in the world, and it's okay, well I guess that's one way to beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was very so RNG when you were going in. Because I believe you were the first one to enter the floating continent. What was your thoughts on that?
I think at that point I was still worried about levels. I saw the plus 30 dragon levels thing, and that it was based on checks and not stuff. So I was still kind of thinking, even at around I want to say it was around minute 20. I was I still want these random encounters. I want to see if I can't beef up a little bit before I just start steamrolling all the way to the end.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. For me, it was we started off with some really good, even having the rods available and a couple good starting abilities. I didn't feel like we needed to have a lot of random encounters, and the first 3 random encounters on Floating Continent are usually enough to get experience levels. So, and the nice thing about going to Floating Continent, if you're going to get wiped by the enemies at the beginning, then you're not going to go through with the rest of the check. So. Turned out to be an okay play.
Yeah, and it definitely worked out. Definitely did.
Oh. Yeah, it was interesting playing through with the split experience this time through. Coming from Final Fantasy 1, I'm used to split experience being the standard. And that concept of filtering experience to different characters, which I didn't feel fully comfortable with in this run, because it's the first time we've used that in this particular, I've used that in this particular game. But even having the option to take that extra encounter with Shadow and go get Bum Rush, even though it didn't act I just shouldn't have done that, because Bum Rush didn't give me any advantages over the fixed dice with the offering. But even just having that ability really changes a lot of the play style.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on getting Bum Rush? I did see you take an encounter, and I was a little confused on why you did.
Yeah, I mean, it was let me get Bum Rush and I mean, my magic levels weren't great on Shadow, and there were I didn't find any earrings or anything like that. So, fixed dice takes a long time, especially with the offering, to play out. And, I was actually looking for other characters who could use them, but Shadow was the only one that I had spent time with. So if Bum Rush happened to give me a more consistent high amount of damage as opposed to the longer fixed dice, then it would be advantageous, but it didn't end up working out. So that was the idea. Ultimately, it wasn't a good idea, but it was nice to have even just a really garbage encounter filter all of that experience into Shadow and get him level 42 in a quick shot.
And you were, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you were the only person who got Go-Go.
Probably.
That is correct. Nobody else did Mog's check.
Yep.
Yeah, I did Mog's check twice. So, when she invests, and honestly, the worst part of it was that my desktop crashed, and I have to play on an older laptop that can't handle the stress of the auto tracking. So I had no idea how close I was to the KT skips. So I was figuring, okay, if I get Go-Go, then I'll be closer to that first KT skip, and I can try to think through a strategy there. And then, of course, as soon as I unlocked Final Kefka, I got the second KT skip, which completely nullified that whole 3-minute process that I wasted getting Go-Go. But oh well.
Yeah. the more Bum Rush users, I mean, you had two.
Yeah.
We made a notation of that. It's like, well, you could have 2 Brum Rushers. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, we did comment on that.
It is bad when both Bum Rushers do 2,000 damage, but hey, at least you got 2 of them.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. Well, thanks again to both RNG and Turdsman. Congratulations on your finishes. Goku, do you have any further questions before we let them go?
All I gotta say is, what are you looking forward to next time? Are you feeling about yourself, or are you feeling kind of?
I've picked up the addiction to this game, so I've been playing nonstop Moogle's First Tournament seeds, but I'm kind of hitting that spot where I need something new. So it's things like this that kind of reinvigorate the love of the game, and you want to play more. So who knows? I'll be around. I think pretty sure I'm already signed up for the Moogle's First Tournament, so I'll at least be hopefully doing that in the near future.
And congratulations on both of your victories.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Well, if that's all that we have to say, then we'll let you go.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting on the show.
Hey, have a good night.
Yep.
Have a
GG's.
great evening. Yeah, thank you. So once again, go and follow our runners, Nobody Ward, Turdsman, LQ Flurry 14, and Devious RNG. They definitely worked very, very hard to make this race a reality for you all. Thanks again to Goku, my co-commentator. Thank you so much for being on the floor with me today. It's awesome having you around.
And shout out to Gar, my co-commentator, my partner in crime today. Give him a follow as well.
And then, of course, Plastic Cat, the Schwantz27. Thank you both for the tracking. Fantastic job. Give everybody a follow. Follows all around. And thank you to SpeedGaming for hosting our event here. But this is all that we've got for you tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you next time.